It's no secret, the Buffalo Sabres have the longest active playoff drought in the NHL and professional sports at 13 seasons, which stands as an NHL record. Years and years of disappointment has led to plenty of faces coming in and plenty of faces leaving to go elsewhere to win. But with a few off-season moves and with the main core getting older, can this team finally end their drought this season? We will find out. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here on Above Average. If you're new to the channel, thank you. Oh yeah, cue this, 5,000 subs. Yeah, that is sweet. We just reached 5,000 subs, so that's pretty cool. I had 1,000 subs right here, so now I just need 5 of these. That would be dope. Yeah, let's see if we can. Let's keep this thing going. I'll see you at 6,000, but with that out of the way, yeah, thank you everyone. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it. But in this video, we're going to be talking about the Buffalo Sabres. This is a team I've talked about a fair bit on this channel, and I did a video about a year ago. It actually was like a year ago today on the Buffalo Sabres, and I was just like, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I just felt like uploading about the Sabres. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on if they will be a playoff team next year, kind of just what to expect from them, my thoughts on the offseason moves and everything. So if you're new to the channel, if you're a Sabres fan, thanks for clicking on this video. Let's get back into it. And yeah, don't leave a like. That's what I said. Don't leave a like, okay? First off, just looking at this roster right out of the gate, it's a very skilled roster. You got Jason Zucker, who's a new acquisition, I believe. You obviously got Ryan McLeod. I think, like, last year, that's the thing. That's what's going on with the Buffalo Sabres. Every year there's a new problem. And last year I was expecting a big year for the Sabres. And I'm sure that sounds familiar. Coming from me, you know, I grew up watching the Oilers. So you always expect big things, and it never really happens. But one thing I will say, if this team's big stars actually show up, I think they're destined for the playoffs. Like, you look at their roster, it's not a bad roster at all. With the emergence of Jack Quinn, and just looking at it, Alex Tuch, he had an off year last year. Same with Tage Thompson, same with Dylan Cozens. But it just the whole core, the whole main core did, and as well that goes for the defense as well. Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, but like that top three, you can build like that's such a really good. They all shoot left, but Bowen Byram, Rasmus Dahlin, and Owen Power, like that's sick. So you got lots of talent, and that's never really been their issue. I really do think if these players, if everyone's chugging along and doing their role, like that's a really good, I'd say that's a pretty good forward core. And then you look at their defense isn't that bad either. You've got Rasmus Dahlin's probably a top defenseman in the NHL, at least is on his best day is a top 5 defenseman. And then you got Owen Power, who's also, he should be trending upwards. So lots of really good talent, lots of really good young talent, and that's where this guy steps in. Lindy Ruff, I think this is huge. I'm sorry, but Dan Granato, I don't think was moving the needle at all. I don't know. I don't know much about him. I just feel like Lindy Ruff is such an improvement. You look what he did with the New Jersey team. No one expected them to make the playoffs when they did last year, and then, or 2 years ago now, they did, and then they kind of had to step back this year, so off he goes. But he's a really good coach. He's done well wherever he's went usually. So Lindy Ruff, I think, is a huge improvement over Don Granato. I think that's going to help a lot. Also with the likes of Ryan McLeod, look, I know the Oilers, they had him, obviously. I watched him for the last few years. I still think the Oilers come out of that trade quite significantly, but I think what Ryan McLeod really needed was just a fresh start. I really do, because it wasn't working. And so yeah, he's away from all the distractions, all the noise. He's going to play in Buffalo. I think that might help a lot, and I'm certainly hoping so, because the eye test was always there. Ryan McLeod was a very noticeable player, and you'd see him. He's one of the fastest players in the league, so I think he's very versatile as well. He can play center, he can play left. I think he's better as a winger, actually, so that'll be interesting to see. But they have him with Zach Benson. I could see him being a second line, first line guy. Really, he could, who knows, him on a line with Tage Thompson, you never know. What I'm getting at is this is a really good team. They just need to mesh. They really need to just mesh, and hopefully Lindy Ruff can finally be that last thing, because I like this roster. I really do. You look at their goaltending, that's maybe the biggest. I don't know. I will say Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is probably the coolest name in the whole entire NHL. Not even just for goalies. For goalies, absolutely. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. That is so fun to say. Like I said, everything on this team is just trending upwards. So, Sabres fans, I honestly think if you've made it this far, I think this is the year. And I know everyone's been saying that for so long, but if the big guys, I think that's just what it is. And what it all comes down to, if they get big years from their star players, they will be back in the playoffs. And that's what I'm getting at. They should be. You've got decent goaltending. I love the defense with Bowen Byram. I think he looked really well when he got traded there last season. JJ Peterka, he's only going up as well. So, and then of course Rasmus Dahlin, who at his best, right? He's one of the best defensemen in the world. So, you got Tage Thompson, center, who's just, I don't think he's I really think the season before, when Tage Thompson had like 94 points, I think that's what Sabres fans should get used to seeing. It was just a bad, weird off year for him. Yeah, so expect him to have a huge year. That's what I believe, honestly. And if he does, the troops, the boys are going to rally around him. I think Dylan Cozens is going to have a career year next year. Jack Quinn, obviously, with injuries, he's going upwards. So I like this team a lot. Yeah, so I mean, that's my thoughts on your team, man. I think they should be back in the playoffs, and they deserve it. They really, really do, because the fans that have continued to stick with this organization, I know, like, it was like almost 10 years, I think, for the Oilers, and it was just 10 terrible years. It's so frustrating. It's like you get to a point, it's like, why am I even watching this team, right? So the fans deserve it most. The players obviously deserve it a lot too, but just the whole city, they really deserve the Buffalo Sabres to be a winning team. And who knows, it could be this year. I really do think it is the year that they make it back in the playoffs. So that's all I got for this one, guys. If you're new to the channel, thank you again for 5,000 subs. Let's go, baby. That's pretty sick. I remember my first 100, the first 500, the first 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Now we're at 5,000. So let's keep this going. I've always wanted to get like 10,000, and then once you start getting there, it's like a trickle down effect, snowball effect. It just yeah. So here's hoping. If you can help me reach that, guys, it'd be sick. So what team should I cover next? I'm planning on doing the Calgary Flames, so be sure to stick around for that. Take her easy. Don't be average when you can be above average. Sabres fans, you got this. You got this. It's okay, man. It's okay. See you in the next one. Peace.